Good morning, YouTube. If you watched one of the videos the other day where I was having all kinds of problems with the Silverado, you will have saw in the beginning of the video that one of the problems is the starter's going out. All day yesterday, 3 or 4 times, I guess I had to get up under the truck and hit it with a breaker bar to get the truck to crank over. So today is the day that this starter meets its maker.
Pew pew pew! Casey Nestle Road, Casey Nestle Road.
So the first thing you got to do, and when you're messing with any electronics in a vehicle, is always disconnect the battery. And especially as far as the starter goes, there is a big power line that goes straight from the battery to the starter, and it can hurt you if you get zapped. So definitely undo the battery cables first. I can't actually remember which way is more important to take off first, but on this truck, I always take the negative off first because I'm much more likely to accidentally hit the positive to some of the metal on the truck. So I definitely make sure that my negative's off first so there's not as much chance of shorting something out. Okay, battery unhooked. Let's crawl under the truck and see what we're looking at with the starter. Okay, so what we have here is 2 bolts that hold it up, that hold the starter up, and there's going to be 2 or 3 wires on the back side. I have done some modifications. As you can see, this wire here is my hard wire to the starter, to the starter button, and that's actually where this purple line used to connect to there. So when we get it off, you'll be able to see what wires are there. But first, let's get these 2 bolts off. Hey, what are you doing up there? Get out of my truck. Jeez. Hey, it's farm life, what can you say? You can't roost there. Oh, jeez. Alright, so it appears that this dipstick tube is in the way of the starter coming out, at least easily, and I really don't want to pry and bend stuff. So I'm gonna have to unbolt it here, remove the dipstick tube, and then I think the starter will come out. Really? Are you trying to help? Jeez. Okay, so dipstick tube up and out of the way. Now I'll see if I can't get that starter out. Oh yeah, that's what was holding her up. Okay, but now I've got to get the activator 12 volt switch line, whatever, and the big 12 volt off. Okay. Got my rigged up starter wire off, starter button wire, and here is the starter. So now we just need to get a replacement. So I go to get the starter. I put 150 bucks in my pocket, which I was figuring would be enough to get the crush washers for the exhaust on that and buy the starter. And I called all the places around. They were all the starters were like $170 new. There were some remanufactured ones for $130, but the guy at AutoZone, which I will not tell his name so he doesn't get in trouble, told me to go on to Rock Auto, and he actually showed me on there. He would have, if he could have printed it out, he'd have done it right there, but I told him I did not mind going home and printing one out so I could save myself over $100. So he said what you got to do is you got to go on to Rock Auto or wherever you find the cheaper part. Yeah, you've got to find it. So I sorted this by my vehicle and this and that, and I've got the starter motor, and now I have a little bit of a, I'm cheating a little bit because he gave me, I took a picture of the product number of the exact one, but he said you have to put it in your cart you have to do your zip code in there so it can calculate shipping. So this is the price I will pay, the $72.78. That's the exact price I pay. So I have to print this page with all this information, and I have to print the info. Like if I were to click right here under starter, if I were to click info, then it would pop up with this page. He needs this page as well because it says lifetime warranty. So I don't really know why, but I'm not complaining or arguing, so I'm going to print this. I'm going to print this, and he will price match it for Rock Auto's price, which will save me like $110. So I'm not going to be able to get the starter today because I'm almost out of time, but I will get it tomorrow, and that's fantastic that I saved $100. Okay, so it's the next day. I am back from AutoZone with the new starter. A small caveat to yesterday's price. When I took in the paperwork, it had the price of the starter plus the shipping, and that's not the exact price I paid. I paid that plus tax there, which is not that big a deal, but just so y'all know. So the total was $77.87, which literally saved me, oh my goodness, after tax, if I'd have bought the original one, it saved me $110. So that's killer. Yeah, here's the starter. We're gonna pop it on. Came with one bolt. That's kind of weird, but it's actually a little smaller. The dimension here is a little smaller end, which I think is perfect because then maybe I wouldn't have had to remove that dipstick. But it's already removed now, so I'm gonna slap it back in. Are you helping again? Listen, I put you in charge of this. It was supposed to be fixed by the time I got back today, and you did nothing. Okay, the wire for the starter button, or switch maybe in your case, is on. All right. So the switch and the constant 12 volt is on. I think I've called the wires something different every single time. Okay. That's all hooked back up. Now I gotta get the dipstick back in and then hook up the battery cables and give her a test. Alright, so if you had to remove your dipstick and you're putting it back in, you can just barely, right through these two runners of the exhaust manifold, you can see the hole that the dipstick's supposed to slide into. And then we'll bolt it back down now. Alright, that's bolted back down. Dipstick back in. Now we're gonna hook our battery back up. Again, I'm doing positive first because for me it's so close to the metal and I don't want something to short out. So now when you hook up the other battery cable, go easy, like put it on there firm, just in case something is messed up down there. You don't want it shorting out everything and frying a bunch of stuff. So put it on quick, but be ready to pull it off in case something's wrong. Yep, just a normal zap. And so here comes the moment of truth. We're gonna hop in the truck and we're going to see if all of our hard work pays off. Success! That's it. Thanks for watching. Any questions, hit me up in the comments below. That is the hardest working chicken mechanic I have ever seen.